is up, everybody? Welcome to Whatever with Jason Soto. We're back. Oh my God, did I miss you guys? Did I miss doing this show? I missed everything about it. And I'm here with my awesome friend, Lisa Sally Haynes. Hello, Lisa.
Hello, how's it going?
Hey, it's going great. We took a summer break.
Kind
That's
of.
what I'm calling it. We took a summer
Okay.
break.
That works for me.
Because
I'm a fan of summer breaks.
Because I don't even remember the last time we recorded. I felt like it was middle July.
Could be.
Beginning of middle of July. And
Time has no
then
meaning for me in the summer.
time is a flat circle, as a wise man
guess.
once said on an HBO TV show.
Okay.
Have you not seen True Detective? You've seen True Detective.
No,
Yeah.
I have, but here's the problem. I can't do quotes out of context. It's my Achilles heel.
Mm.
If you played me that clip,
The clip of
from
him
the
saying
show,
it? Okay.
I'd be okay. But anybody else saying it randomly, it doesn't stick. I'm a visual person. I'm not great with like auditory. But if I hear a very specific name or if I hear a very specific character, I'm usually a good like 80-20 good to get it.
So if I would have said instead, like Matthew McConaughey said in True Detective, time as a flat circle, then you would have
I absolutely would have known what it was.
Now you would have placed the exact scene that I was talking about.
That too. Also, if you had said Matthew McConaughey said, you wouldn't have needed to give me True Detective. I would have gotten there.
Okay.
But
okay.
and that's not the case with everything, but it is because people come up to me and like people in everyday life will like say a quote like that and they look at me and they're like, yeah. And I'm like, I don't understand what you're saying. And they're like, how the hell do you not know that? Because it's my blind spot. I can't do it. But give me a clip or give me, whatever it is, like those trivia shows and trivia, like bar trivia.
Oh, yeah.
Play a clip and you have to identify. I got it.
Okay.
I'm gonna have it, but for whatever reason,
Now,
not the actual clip, I won't have it.
I know you're a fan of the Ghostbusters series, so if I did a Ghostbuster quote out of context, you would have got that, right?
If it was one or two, anything after that, probably
Well,
not.
obviously, yes, one or two, yes. I'm not going to
Because
quote.
as far as I'm concerned, that's where they stop. But
I'm not going to quote Frozen Empire because also I haven't seen it. I haven't seen it, but I'm not going to. But so like if I just said like this man has no dick, you would have immediately have like 100%.
If it's from the original Ghostbusters, not only will I know it, I will be able to correct you if you get a word wrong.
That's a big Twinkie. That's a big Twinkie.
Yeah, that's a big Twinkie. Yes, you're correct.
Okay. I was waiting to see if you could correct me on that.
No, you're good. But I mean, like, even if you say on instead of in, I'll know that one. But again, that's Ghostbusters. I know Ghostbusters.
Yeah.
The back of my own hand. In fact, I probably know Ghostbusters better than the back of my own hand.
Okay.
So,
and is that the only movie you're like that with? Like you would have like
that way? Yes. Although
Okay.
there are a handful of others that I'm good with sections of. Most typically any film that I've taught.
Oh, okay.
Because I've seen it twice a year.
Repetition,
usually,
yeah.
The films that I teach my seniors, I show twice a year because I have two sections. So I'm watching these movies. I've had this class since 2005, 2006. So we're talking 20 years with this class. I've been teaching Memento and Apocalypse Now and One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest.
Okay.
So I know those movies really well.
So those you would have memorized.
The inflection, the music cues, stuff like that I've gotten really good at.
Okay. All right. I don't know. Like the weird thing is I have a hard time remembering a lot of things, but like I could pull quotes like what I just did to you earlier. Yeah. I mean, I can literally pull movie quotes. I can quote probably most of Billy Madison.
Yeah. It's a movie you enjoy.
I probably could do that. Like right now if I had to. Or like
You know what else is a thing though? I think that's our age. Because we had to. There was no way to Google quotes, right?
Oh,
in the past, we
learned
because we watched them so many times and we would recite them to each other. And that's the only way like we would be able to do things. So I think that's a gift that many people are losing.
That's
and
true.
yes, I think it's a gift.
It is a gift, yes, for me to recall Billy Madison quotes off the top of my head.
Totally.
It's totally a gift. What you just said was the dumbest thing that anyone in this room has heard. Okay. So like I said, we took a little break. We're back. Bear, of course, the troublemaker that they are, couldn't be here today.
Be nice to Bear. I had to mute myself because I'm using my.
You're getting high off of Duster?
Oh my God.
See, you are getting high off of Duster. Look at you.
I've never had that problem before where I've started inhaling it and made me choke. I know I'm using like the can of air on my computer keyboard.
We're going to have to do an intervention on Lisa.
Oh, that was terrible. I've never had that happen before.
Oh my God.
That was awful.
When I worked at Staples, that was like the number one stolen thing was the cans of air duster. Because it would be like, and I'm not trying to disparage. Dangerous. I'm not trying to disparage a group of people, but homeless people, I swear to God, it was homeless people, 100% would come in, they would grab it, and then they would actually go to the bathroom, lock the door because it was a single use to huff it, and then one of us would go in their bathroom and we would find the empty can either in the trash can or on the sink or by the toilet or whatever, and we're like, oh great, and then we have to take it out of the inventory.
Empty can? That's a lot.
No, they fucking, yeah. Hell yeah. Or they just flat out just pocket it or put it in their book bag and run out the door with it.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it was like the number one stolen thing when I worked at Staples. It was crazy. So yeah, don't do huff, kids. Don't huff.
That's so scary.
Yeah, like, look at Lisa's reaction to it. It was just a little puff too.
Yeah, and you know what it is? Like, I've never actually had that problem before. So like I'm looking at it and, you know, on the back of the can, you know, it's got like first aid. It's got like, you know, usage information. Don't do this. Don't do that. Mm-hmm. So first aid says inhalation, immediately move to fresh air. And I'm like, shit, I just inhaled some. I've got asthma. I think I've just damaged my lungs permanently. I have not. I'm fine. Yeah. But it's like, oh, that's not good.
Mm. Yeah.
Anyway, sorry to interrupt with that obnoxiousness.
No, you're all good.
You were disparaging Bear, and I was
because it was like they were gone for so long last season, I guess, and then they came back at the end, and then now they're gone again. It's just like,
well, it's not like they're blowing us off. Like they had a prior engagement that.
Oh no, they're blowing us off, all right.
They're not blowing us off.
Mm-hmm. I'm taking it. I am taking it personally. God damn it. We should be first priority.
Oh, that's who I was talking to. I was talking to Todd. I was doing a Forgotten Film Cast last week. Because I just did a quote from the stupid movie we were watching, and then it jogged my memory.
Okay.
This is what it's like to
just seeing that in real time was a treat, let me tell you. Just watching you go through all that.
Watching me remember things.
So here's how long we've been gone. We have gone through the cycle of the Hawk Tuah Girl. You know who the Hawk Tuah Girl is, Lisa?
Wasn't it, what was I calling it? I already forgot what I called it. I was calling it like Hawk Tuah or something. Oh yeah, Tuah, that's what it was.
Oh, you're adding a little French.
I thought it was funnier because I kept forgetting how it was spelled.
So yeah, I was wishing we were around when that whole thing was happening. Because here's where it stands right now. She has gone through popularity, and then she has gone through the downslide, and now she is going back up into popularity somehow. I don't know how she did that. Yes, because she got popular, if you will, back in she was
viral
late July at some point, and then she just started showing up everywhere.
Yeah,
she was throwing first pitches at baseball games. She was doing introducing country singers at festivals, but there was a point where she was at some other festival in August, early August, and she came out and nobody responded to her. They just traded it, they just ignored her. And then she's all like, we're here for Jason Aldean, and nobody did anything. And then Jason Aldean would come out and then he'd play and then they'd cheer for him. And then she would just go off to the distance. So then she vanished for a couple of weeks. Mm-hmm. And now she's showing up on podcasts. And I am getting every clip on my Facebook reel is her on these podcasts. And they range the gamut of people you've never heard of. She may as well have done our show.
Oh, no, thank you.
To, she was on Whitney Cummings' podcast, if you know who Whitney Cummings is.
I do know who that is, yeah.
So she was on her podcast. She was on Bill Maher's podcast. Apparently he has
Oh
a podcast.
God. Yeah, he's got everything.
And so now she's having this weird uptick again. And it was so weird that we were gone that long that she went through her 15
The
minutes.
entire cycle.
Yeah, and she had her 15 minutes, and now she's restarting her 15 minutes just being on podcast. It
Oh
is
my
so
goodness.
surreal. It was so surreal. But here's the thing I wanted to talk about.
Yes.
Getting famous for stupid reasons.
Okay.
And I feel like it's so weird that now we're in this society. And I can't think of an example that would have happened in the 80s or 90s outside of like
No,
people,
and it wouldn't have.
outside of like those assholes who tried to kill the president. Like, I want to get Jodie Foster's attention. That guy.
This is stronger. Yeah.
Or the subway. You remember like in the 80s or 90s, there was a guy in the subway who killed somebody, like Bernie Getz. That's his name. Bernie Getz.
Oh, yeah.
You remember Bernie Getz? Yeah,
Yes,
that was his
because I
thing.
know the Billy Joel song.
Yeah. Hey, whatever gets you there, man. I'm not gonna judge you.
Homeless vets, foreign debts, AIDS crack, Bernie Getz.
Yes. Yeah, Bernie Getz, he was
That I can recite.
he was a subway vigilante, they called him, but he killed some people on a subway. I can't remember the full story right
Oh
now.
my God.
But see, that's how he got famous. But now with the
That's
invention
infamous,
of
yeah.
or
Social media.
You're right, infamy. Yeah, infamy. You're right. But yeah, now because of TikTok and Instagram.
It's not TikTok, it's social media in general. Yeah.
Well, but she was on TikTok. That's why I threw that in there.
Okay,
Her first
But
video was on TikTok.
My point is that this has been around since the 90s, since like the
Okay.
influx of computers in people's homes.
Mm.
Because Kato Kalin, you know who Kato Kalin?
No, yeah. I'm just trying to think.
No, I wasn't. No, my mistake. I didn't want you to misunderstand me. I wasn't saying, oh, you know who he is. What I was saying is, you know who he is.
Okay.
Because of his media attention.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
And that connects to the one of the pinnacle trifectas of being famous simply for being famous, because Kardashian was close friends with O.J. Simpson, and his daughter is the pinnacle of the trifecta of famous for being famous. You have her, you have Paris Hilton, arguably Nicole Richie, but Nicole Richie kind of was there because of Paris. But like these people who were the equivalent is socialites, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like people who went to parties and were seen. Now it's social media famous. So I'm totally with you on that.
Yeah. It's just
influencers.
And it's just so weird that like her only thing that got her famous was just saying the words Hawk Tuah.
Hawk Tuah.
Well, I mean, and then there was the whole context behind what it was. Basically, to anyone who doesn't know, because I know there are little older people who listen to this, back in the summer, or like early summer, there was a dude with like a TikTok channel or something who was out on the streets of Nashville, and he came across this group of girls, and he basically asked a question about how do you treat your men? Like, do you like, what kind of how do you not honor them? I don't know what I'm looking for, but like treat your men right or whatever. And so there are various different answers, and then this girl, her real name is Haley. She stepped up and she says, you have to give him the Hawk Tuah, which is basically a blowjob reference.
I knew exactly what she meant. I hate that I knew what she meant, but yes.
But then that got like out of that video and then it blew the fuck up. But why? What was it about that phrase that just made people go like ape shit and are just like sharing that? Like, is it because of the context?
It's the same thing that's making demure this whole thing.
That's the thing that's happening as we're recording.
Very mindful,
yes.
Very demure, very mindful, whatever it is. I'm just happy. In fact, I literally wrote this on a former student's post not an hour ago. Something, because he put something up there about, demure. And I said, look, as long as they're using the word properly and not creating a new definition for something that's popular for 2 months, I don't complain. They're using demure in the proper definition, like the established definition. Now, caveat, I'm not against the changing and the evolution of language, but when it's only changed for 2 months and then we've all forgotten about it and now the word means nothing, I get frustrated. But anyway, um, there is no, it's the same thing that's like, what guarantees a movie is going to be, successful? People are fickle and people change. Their attention span is worth nothing at this point. And there's no telling how many people hit that share button, what's going to hit, what's not.
Yes.
Like I would argue, because I think where you were starting to go, and forgive me if I'm putting words in your mouth.
Yeah.
Like people who are famous for no good reason,
Mm-hmm.
I would argue fame is something that lasts. These people are memes. Like they have just become memes. You're something fun for about 5 seconds. They talk about 15 minutes of fame. This is your 15 seconds of fame. Because nobody knows who you are. Your name does not last. You are a meme. We all know the Numa Numa guy.
Yes.
Right? We know what that is. That generates an image in your head.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
You talk to some of my former students and you bring up shoes, they'll come up with that video.
Yep.
Like you're a meme. Salt Bay is a meme. It's not an actual person who's famous, it's an image, right? Or it's a sound bite. Which I think is really interesting because this idea of socialites was somebody who could get into any party or any club just for being attractive or knowing the right people. And then 90s to, I don't know, 2010 ish was, famous for being famous, right? So it was like grasping that kind of in your pocket popularity and using it, right?
Yes.
And Joel McHale used to skewer Kim Kardashian all the time because
on the soup,
he used to say, she's famous for having a big ass and a sex tape.
Yep.
Point being, she did what she needed to do. And that family is wildly successful because wherever they got their start, they have managed to use it to their advantage. So you can hate them all you want. Those are some smart people. Now it's people who are famous for, a month or two and then it's gone. Then you're out of style again. It's fascinating.
I found it. It took me a minute to find it, but I did want to play the clip of her doing that because I want everyone to have the context.
Oh, this is for her. What? You know how to answer this. You got it.
What's one move in bed that makes a man go crazy every time?
Oh, you gotta give him that Hawk Tuah and spit on that thing. You get me?
That was it. That was what launched a whole person.
Okay. There's a lot more context there than I understood there to be. But
I'm sorry. I was going off of memory. I was trying to go off of memory.
It's totally fine because the only reason I became aware of her was because people were putting it all over Facebook and social media, and I never saw that. That's the first I've heard. I've never seen it. I didn't know what it referenced. All I knew were the 2 words that I saw all over the internet.
Yeah. So that happened, and then she just got, like I said, she blew up, showed up on a bunch of, she introduced a bunch of bands during festivals. Now, here's what's interesting. Not that I can find, she never did any, TV shows. She never showed up on, Stephen Colbert or Jimmy Fallon or, yeah, sure. Dr. Phil isn't even doing a show anymore, is he? I thought he stopped. I could be wrong. Anyway, the point is she never really reached the popularity to be on a TV show. You know what I mean? She never was a guest on like I said, Jimmy Fallon or even probably the Today Show or nothing. And and I guess you could look at it as, well, it's the reason why. Because you got to explain why. And you got to explain what the Hawk Tuah is a reference to. And you can't be on the Today Show with, fucking Hoda and whatever her name is, the other one. Savannah. Yeah, Savannah Guthrie, yeah. And yeah, look at you go. And be like, anyway, up next, we have the Hawk Tuah Girl, and we can't really explain what that is, but she's here today, and she's gonna help us make a pasta with Martha Stewart. Stay tuned. You know what I mean?
Cream sauce.
That's not Alfredo sauce.
Ew.
So, I don't want to sound like an old person, but it really is so like we've done this I've done this podcast for 5+ years now. And I'm not that level of fame. And it's just so weird that like I do this show, I do all my shows, and you know, I put some work into them, believe it or not, listeners, I do some work on these shows. And then all this girl had to do was just find some random jackass with a camera and a mic who just said 2 words, and then she's like introducing like fucking Luke Bryant on like a fucking concert stage. And it's just so weird. And it's not that I'm jealous. I'm happy for her. And I'm only happy for her because she's taking it well. She's not letting it get to her head. The only thing that's kind of getting to her head is she wanted to do a reality show. And I think that's going too far.
You can't, that won't last.
It's not.
She wanted to stretch her 15 seconds of fame into 15 minutes of fame, and it's just not going to happen.
And I think the path she's going on now is the path she should stick. She should just be guests on podcasts. She should try to. At this point,
she should go away because, you know, you made your funny joke, and now get on with it like the rest of us, you know?
So I guess I'm doing what I would do if this was me. Okay. And what I would do is, like, I got this level of fame. I'm being asked to throw, you know, the first pitch at the Mets game or whatever. I'm going on Whitney Cummings' podcast. I would harness that and either make my own YouTube channel, because that's where this kind of personality would thrive, is more like YouTube. Is you would get like a YouTube channel, get a TikTok, like certified TikTok, so you get money off of it. Do like a Twitch stream, maybe you do something on Twitch. I don't know if she plays video games. I don't think she ever said, but you know, maybe do something like that. Now, that's what I would do. I would try to like harness this and stay in my lane. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not going to be like, oh, let me host SNL next week. Like, no, that's not going to happen. Now, she may guess. Now, here's a funny thing. I see SNL probably asking her to come on for like a joke. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, just to walk on. Everyone goes, ah! And then she says the Hawk Tuah line, and then maybe does the live from New York. It's Saturday night. And then that'll be it, right? That'll be her whole thing. But otherwise, stick to your lane. Do what you're probably going to be good at, and just stay on the internet, and then just continue making money off of Twitch or YouTube or TikTok or all 3. She has said she has no desire to do an OnlyFans because people obviously has asked her. And she says she does not want to do an OnlyFans. And which is, she never gave a reason, and it's fine. It's fine. It's fine. It's again, I am a big proponent of sex work, and I'm also a big proponent. I have nothing against that.
My face is because she did nothing except give a funny answer to a survey question on the street. There's no reason for her to have a career of that. It's not like it's not. She's a gag. She's a one-time funny joke.
But see, that's the thing. But it blew up. Like, people took those 2 seconds.
Blew up? Yeah, the Numa guy's not doing anything now. Like,
he was in a Weezer video, goddammit.
But I mean, the idea is like, you do not make a career off this shit. Careers come from hard work and actual skill. She answered a question in a funny way.
Right.
You know, like, so it's like, no, she's not going to get a show. She's not going to be a character, because she literally is, she is an onomatopoeia reaction. Like, she came up with a sound.
Yeah.
And that's it. And people laughed at it because people could relate to it.
No,
like,
100. Yes.
It just seems, no. And if she's pissed off that she doesn't have a career out of it, you need to actually develop a skill, sweetie.
I don't, so, and I guess that's the whole thing, is like, well, where would she go from now?
Nowhere. If she'd go back to her day job like the rest of us.
Which I don't even know what that was. I don't think she even really said what she used to do. But I guess she's getting some money off of doing this somehow.
Yeah, and she's probably going to be running a GoFundMe soon, because she's I quit my job because I thought I was going to be famous, and now I need everyone else to pay my
She just has to, like I said, just do a Twitch. Do a YouTube channel. Get verified.
But see, do a Twitch, do a YouTube channel. The content she needs to create in order to first be recognized as a Twitch partner or a YouTube partner, whatever it is. She doesn't have material. She had one funny sound she made.
But does anyone care? would
No.
Twitch care? If she signed up for a Twitch account and whoever at Twitch that
I have
is
a
in
Twitch account.
no, no,
I'm
no,
not
no,
making
no,
money
no,
from
no,
it.
no, listen, no, no, no. Listen to me. Listen to the rest of this. She
Okay.
made a Twitch account, and then somebody at Twitch saw that. They would immediately verify her and immediately put her in the partner program where every time she streamed, she would get ad revenue, she would get money, she would get subscribers. 100%. She would get thousands and thousands of subscribers. Whether they're laughing at her or with her, that's another question, but she's going to get the subscribers. And she's going to do whatever it is she will do on Twitch, whether it's react to videos, play a video game, sit in a hot tub in a bikini, whatever the case may be. And yes, everyone listening, there are people on Twitch who whole thing is they just sit in a bikini in a hot tub in front of a camera and they get millions of dollars. And yes, you should be mad about that.
But she would only have these subscribers for a month.
Who knows? Who knows?
It depends on her content.
Okay, here's another. This is going to be a
the
little.
other thing is, and I'm going to say this one more thing too.
Okay.
Somebody who sits in a bathtub does not do that literally every day for hours on end and keep subscribers.
You would be surprised.
I wouldn't, because they're not going to keep the old subscribers, because what's going to happen is people are going to no. See, you're misunderstanding me. Don't look up examples.
Just
what I'm saying.
Keep going.
Is,
just keep going.
Yes, they exist. However, it's not the only thing they do, because people need and crave some kind of novelty. So if literally all you do on, let's say, OnlyFans is take a bath and that's it, that's great for about a month or two. But what's going to happen is you're going to start losing subscribers because you're not feeling yourself up, because you're not putting bath toys somewhere, because you're not doing anything different than what you did 30 videos ago. That's my point.
I love you trying to keep that as clean as possible.
Fucking
I'll do it for you. Fucking yourself with sex toys and getting naked in the bathtub. But you can't get naked.
Said bath toys, by the way.
You can't. I know. But
like a rubber duck.
But I know what you were trying to say without saying it.
I say things delicately.
All right,
my
that's
point
fair.
is that there is going to come a point, like these viral videos, where it's going to stop working. So you have to do something more. And that's what I keep going back to the Kardashians, because frankly, they are the pinnacle of this.
Well, that was how they got famous. Yeah, exactly.
They got famous, but in order to stay famous, you have to do things.
But they got a reality show out of it.
Right. And their reality show, like, they keep upping the ante. You know, like, I don't watch the reality show. I have seen it in the past. I have watched more episodes than I probably should admit to. But my point is, they have run businesses. They have opened shops. They have done appearances. They create and they foster drama in order to keep people watching. The point is, hate them as much as you want. They are friggin' good at what they do.
Yeah.
Because they can keep going. Whereas anybody else, so I'm going to give you an example. There's a TV show called Prison Break, which everybody loves.
Yeah.
I watched the first season. I thought the first season was incredible. What the hell do you do in season 2? If the show is they are in this prison and they're going to break out of the prison, what do you do when you break out of the prison? Where's the show going to go?
You're a fugitive.
They're a fugitive, but now it only goes for so long, so they put them in different prisons, and now they have to escape those prisons. And then
I really didn't know what happened. That's fine. Okay.
Well, they got into different prisons. I never watched it past the second season. But my point is, there are some really cool shows out there, TV shows that come out, and then you go, but what are you going to do for a second season? Like, they cap themselves in, which is why I get frustrated a lot with series and franchises and sequels and things like that. But I, as much as you say, like, yes, she could do these things, I agree with you, but there's no way that it would last. I'm going to be generous, 6 months, because unless you're generating new people all of the time, you are not going to maintain the people you started with. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I get it. I get it. Like, what would she do?
You have favorites if you watch porn, if you watch YouTube videos, if you watch Twitch, I don't care what it is you watch. You have your favorites because they're not exactly the same every time. And if they are, you start drifting away and you find somebody new. I do it. You know, I subscribe to certain YouTube channels. I've given money to certain Twitch streamers. And I have changed my mind and been like, I'm not going to subscribe to you anymore. I'll just come watch you every now and then. Because it's the same old thing. The novelty wears off. So I don't know. It's an interesting thing to think about because the idea of making money from a hobby is so much more accessible now.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I did go to Twitch, but like the first page is just all these people playing video games. And people have made a career out of that.
Are you logged in?
Yes.
Okay. I would log out and see what shows up to somebody because that page is going to be tailored to you.
Oh, that's fair, I guess.
I would even go to an incognito page and log in and see what's on the main page. Because that's what they're advertising to people who have never been to Twitch before.
But yeah, so that's kind of just all I was trying to say was like, you know, if she wanted to be, if somehow she's listening to this, if she wanted to be famous, she would just have to find a thing. That's all it is. And she can't ride those 2 seconds in that video forever.
Those 2 sounds. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. She would have to find something. Now, whether she is good at video games and maybe she just does Minecraft, that she just plays Minecraft and she just talks to her subscribers and they make her say things, you know, or whatever, you know what I mean? She just has to find the thing and then do that.
Right.
Otherwise, yes, she's just going to start fading away. It's just weird that we're in this like second loop now where she's on these podcasts, but that's going to run out too because, you know, unless she no longer is picky about what podcast she does.
Right.
Like she could do our show.
Keep saying that.
more than welcome. No, she's more than welcome to come on the show. I would love to have her on the show. Honestly, talk to her about all this because I do want to know what it's like to be in that kind of spotlight because that's got to be weird.
No,
and I am going off of just all the reels and TikToks that I have seen of her on these shows, and I think they're scripted, but I do see some of these videos of like people running into her on the street, but I put those in quotes because they feel kind of fake.
Yeah.
Like, cause they're just, it's like a guy like videoing himself and he goes, "Oh my God, it's the Hawk Tuah Girl." And then turns the camera around and she's like, "Hi, who are you?" And he introduces himself and then they have a conversation for 30 seconds. And then he's like, "Well, it's nice to meet you, Haley." And then he leaves. And it's like, that was so like scripted. Like you can just tell.
I mean, it's like stand-up comedy. The most successful stand-up comics were the ones who look like they're having they sound like they're just having a conversation with a bunch of friends sitting down, and they make it seem like they're running up with these jokes and these lines off the top of their heads. And you know, you've dabbled in stand-up comedy. Like anybody who has actually looked into this stuff, whether you've done it or researched it or a fan of it or whatever, knows how hard this is. Because you have to write the jokes, you have to practice the jokes, and then if the jokes fall, you have to decide, do I revise it? Do I do this? A lot of it is your delivery. A lot of it is the chemistry makeup of the group in front of you. Like, and you're right. The videos, the people who are popular on TikTok or on whatever it is, have a natural way of speaking, have a natural way of presenting themselves, because otherwise, like you said, that's so fake looking. I'm not doing it. This is dumb. And then it's gone, right?
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Yeah, stand-up comedy is a little harder to get into. Don't do stand-up comedy, Haley. I don't think you'd be good at it. No offense. No offense. Just because, again, I've seen all these clips of her, right? And it's literally just her answering questions. Now, she'll do it in a humorous manner, but that doesn't translate to stand-up.
Right.
And see, that was where I knew to stay in my lane. Like, not to be full of myself, but I know I'm funny, but I'm not stand-up funny. I'm more reactionary funny.
Right,
Like,
sure.
like you'll say something and I can react to it and everyone laughs.
Hmm.
That's how it's supposed to go anyway. Um, but stand up is a whole other beast, and
Right.
you
It's
have to,
scary.
you actually have to like know how to frame things, know how to word things,
Yep.
and know how to also interact with your audience. Because
Yep.
a big part of stand up is interacting with your audience,
Yep.
and you have to be good at that.
And you could be one of the hundreds, thousands, I don't know how many there are, exceptional at this and
Mm,
still never become a superstar.
yeah, exactly.
I mean, it's just there are many people out there and not everyone gets that lucky break. They call it a lucky break for a reason.
Yes, exactly.
It doesn't
Exactly.
mean that you're less talented than XYZ. It just means that lightning struck where they were standing.
Hmm.
It's just kind of the way it works sometimes.
I agree. I agree. You do have to be basically for stand up anyway. You got to be like right place, right time, and you got
A
to
lot of
know,
things, yeah.
and you got to know somebody.
Yeah.
Like it's really hard for just an unknown to just go to LA or New York and then just start doing stand up, and then next week you're discovered. Like Patton Oswalt. Okay, let's with Patton Oswalt for example. He's like my number one favorite comedian of all time, and I read his like kind of autobiography about how his startup and stand up. He started stand up in the 80s, like when he was in his 20s, like even earlier than 20s. He
Yeah.
was like a teenager. And he was doing this in his hometown in North Carolina. And he
Yep.
would just do like these piddly little 5-minute open mics, or he would like bribe his way into like a club and he would open for somebody.
Mhm.
And and then he just kind of snowballed from there. And then he did get lucky because he moved to LA and he also become an actor, and
Yep.
that does help too.
But
Um,
again, I mean, I know a
but that's a
number of
lucky
people.
that's a lucky break as well.
It's the
Yes.
same thing. Like my husband has a theater degree. My
Hmm.
husband works in improv theater, and he has worked with a number of individuals who moved to LA, spent a year or so there, and eventually came home because it was too hard to own to rent a place or to make money to live on while trying to do all of these things. I mean, think about how many people live that live the work of the dream. I don't want to say live the
Yeah.
dream because it don't necessarily get there, but
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
number of students that I've had who moved to New York, who moved to LA, working in either stage performing, are doing the waitress thing, doing the this thing, doing the that thing. I have a former student who works in editing in LA.
Oh.
I have a number. I do, and it has nothing to do with me. It just is like I know people who have. I don't know. I don't have a name of the hundreds of students that I've had in my career, who have reached that kind of blockbuster status because it's hard, and you're going to work yourself to the bone, and you still might not get there. And that doesn't mean don't try,
Hmm.
but it means take what you do get and
Hmm.
love the hell out of what you do get.
Yes.
I mean,
Yes.
people talk about like, oh, I want to be famous. You give up a lot to be famous. And I don't think it's what it's cut out to be. I really don't think. I think most people who get famous wish they weren't. It's one of those things. That's where like get what you've be careful what you wish for comes from. Like because I'm just gonna play in some cliches for a moment if you'll indulge me. Like be careful what you wish for because the grass is always greener kind of thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah,
Um,
this idea that like it's we always think somebody else has it better.
well, here's the thing too about that. You also have to know how to handle fame.
Yeah, and nobody does
you'll
until you're in the middle of it.
you'll have to like, yeah, because I'm gonna use Patton Oswalt again just because I think
Yeah.
he has like the perfect like career in my mind, because he's a very decent human being. He's not
He
done
is.
anything wrong or illegal or immoral, or he doesn't have anything in his background. He's very open about everything. He's very funny. He's very talented acting wise and with his stand up. He's a great father. He's a great husband. I follow him on Instagram. And he knows how to handle it. He's in here another example. He's in a Pixar movie.
Mhm.
Now, that's like a surefire check. Like, you get to be a main person in a Pixar movie. You could be set for the rest of your life.
He got very lucky though, because he got one of the big ones.
Right. And
but a lot of people are not going to know he was that voice.
Well, no, that's fair. But that's not the point. The point is, money-wise, he could be set.
True.
He just get that Pixar checks however often those happen. But he continues to work. He continues to do his stand-up. He continues to do movies and TV shows and whatever. Right now, he's hosting a game show on Fox. So, and that's awesome. Yeah, absolutely. So he knows how to handle fame, is what I'm trying to say.
He also took over, not took over, he reprised the role of Remy in Disney Dreamlight Valley for the video game.
Oh, I didn't know. Like, okay. That's cool. I didn't know that. Okay. Yeah,
which is cool, because some of those characters are not voiced by the original voice actors.
Yeah.
Remy
exactly.
is.
Yeah, okay.
But there's something not at all dumping on Patton Oswalt. Patton Oswalt doesn't necessarily have the kind of fame your average person wants. The average person wants, like, Taylor Swift fame.
Yeah.
And there's a whole other level to that.
That is a secondary
Beyonce
level.
Fame.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
To Tom Cruise fame.
Yeah.
To people losing their damn mind over you fame. Michael Jackson fame. Beatles fame.
Yes.
Patton Oswalt is not that level of fame. He is,
and that's
famous,
true. Yes, I believe yes.
Which I think is amazing because he had to have worked for how long?
Definitely
to just become recognizable, right?
Exactly. Yes.
So, what exactly do we talk about on Sporadicast?
How to make the best margarita.
Cocksuckers?
Sure, we could talk about all of that and more. Sporadicast.
But Jason, when can people find Sporadicast wherever they get their podcasts or on our website, rabbitholepodcast.com?
That's the beauty. Sporadically.
Oh.
I don't get it.
Okay, another thing that happened while we were gone was the Olympics. Did you watch the Olympics?
I watched some of it.
Are you an Olympic watcher?
I watched a lot more of it than I thought I would, frankly. I wouldn't say I'm an Olympic watcher because normally it goes by and I forget it's even a thing. It's just I've never cared. I watched the opening ceremonies for the very first time this year.
That was wild. That was fucking wild.
I've never watched this stuff before. And I was like, well, I can. I have Peacock. I can watch it whenever the hell I want. So I went, you know what? I'm going to sit down and watch it. This seems interesting.
Yes.
So I did watch that. I watched some surfing. I watched the gymnastics stuff. In fact, I didn't watch all of it, but I did watch the all around. And what was interesting was I got a notification on my phone, like, oh, the women's all-around finals are happening now. And I was like, ooh, I want to watch this. I put the TV on. It's been on for an hour and 45 minutes already. I'm like, well, this notification was stupid. So I was like, can I restart it? And I did. It did allow me to restart it. So I was like, okay, cool. So I rewound the whole thing, turned off all the notifications on my phone, because obviously when Simone Biles gets gold, your phone is going to blow up.
Oh, yeah. Obviously.
So I turned it all off. And what was cool was I was able to watch, without spoilers, the back and forth between Simone Biles and Jordan Childs and Rebecca Andrade. It says Andrade, but that's not the way it's pronounced. Andrade, I believe, is how it's pronounced. She's Brazilian. And so I got to see the three of them, like change leadership. And I got to see Suni Lee. Sorry. Oh God, this is terrible. I don't remember their names now.
It's fine.
So I got to see some of that. I got to see some of the swimming. I played around with Peacock had this like multi-screen thing.
Oh
So I
yeah,
could
yeah.
see like four things at once. So I watched that for about 3 minutes and then gave up. But yeah.
Okay. Okay.
So,
All right. Um, so I'm not into sports, as everyone famously knows. Um, so I typically don't watch them, but this year's Olympics felt weird. Like, and I don't know if it's because, again, we were talking about earlier, because we're in a social media dominated,
mhm.
you know,
We were
mindset
4 years ago
nowadays.
too.
But
3 years
like
ago, 4 years ago. This year was
everything,
definitely different.
everything that's now like that was happening, I felt like was being memed, and it was just like I've never seen an Olympics memed to death before, but it was like everything that kept happening was like meme worthy, and it was weird because it was like this didn't happen in previous years. The last thing that I can remember, and you're gonna correct me if I'm wrong, but the last meme worthy thing that happened was during a time when there weren't even memes, and that was the whole Nancy Kerrigan, Tanya Harding shit,
Yes.
tied with actually that whole bomb scenario that happened in '96 at Atlanta.
Right.
But otherwise, I don't remember the Olympics being like super weird or crazy or whatever. Like,
Is crazy, like woven into our daily
yeah,
consciousness the way it was this year. Yeah, I agree.
because, it was like everything was just like from the opening thing to like people getting their panties in a knot over that opening with the people maybe reenacting the Last Supper. They say it's not. I don't know if it is or not. It kind of does look like it, but whether that's intentional or not, whatever, people getting upset about that. And then we got the shooter dude who looked like he just like walked it off from the street
Yeah.
with a gun, and he
Turkish,
just was
yeah.
just like yep. And then that even turned into like a thing because then they turned him into John Wick because there was a picture of him with his
Somebody saw a
cat.
picture of a cat. Yeah.
And then they're like, oh, if anything happens to that cat, man, I feel sorry for them people, And like, and then, of course, I guess the big one that everyone talks about still to this day, as we're recording this, the Olympics has been done for 2 weeks. People are still talking about that break dancer from Australia
Well, there's reasons for that.
who was terrible. I'm just going to flat out say it. Was terrible. Like, not even like I can't even excuse it that it was being passed as breakdancing. Like, I could have probably done a better job. Like, I could have done that and got just as far as she did. And I'm not trying to be mean or nothing, but it was just like, what were you like thinking? Like, how did we know now how it happened? Her and her husband were on the Olympic committee or whatever, and like she was able to get on the breakdancing.
So
team
I don't know
because
all of it, but I know that the qualifying competitions, like her husband and she had some hand in it. But we don't know, like, I can't speak to this properly because I don't know the ins and outs of this. I know there's a lot of stuff online about many of these sports and many of these competitions. So I take everything I hear with a grain of salt.
fair.
Yeah, that could be the case, but that doesn't mean they were the only ones making the decision.
Mhm.
I don't know the ins and outs of it. So, but yes, whatever it was that she ended up performing that day clearly was lackluster.
Yes.
It's not like she got any medals for it or anything.
No, she did not. They gave her zeros.
So I don't know what happened there. I feel like that was just a weird situation. And frankly, I'd rather focus on the positive things. But it was like,
well, okay. Well, and then because this show, I gotta talk about the sex beds.
The what?
The sex beds. The sex beds.
No.
Okay. So when they were
I'm not playing dumb. I
know,
no,
I can tell you're being legit, and that's fine. So when they were building and they did this the last Olympics too. When they build the Olympic Village for the athletes to stay in,
yes,
they purposely made these beds that are hard to have sex in.
Oh my
and
God.
they look like just like cardboard boxes with like
Oh my
a
God.
mattress on it and like a pillow and a blanket. And according to the athletes, like just on their own without even having sex, they're the most uncomfortable things in the face of the planet. And it's supposed to be to prevent all the athletes from having sex because
From
apparently
mingling. Yeah.
in previous years that would happen a lot. And here's the
Really
thing.
human.
No. Here's the fucking thing.
Go ahead.
These are the top of the athletes. This is the highest you could possibly go. Let them fuck, all right?
Agreed.
There's no reason why they can't be fucking. Just let them fuck. Let them fuck. Let them make more athletes for the 2064 Olympics. Like, just let them do it. Why is the Olympics... The Olympics is basically Lisa. They're just such prudish, and they're just like, no sex. We're not gonna have sex. We're gonna give you cardboard beds so you don't have
I don't know. There
sex.
must be something to it. I don't know. There must be something about focus or performance or literally and figuratively. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm not in that world, but I can tell
It's so
you.
stupid. It's
Put a
stupid.
group of people in a hotel together for an extended amount of time.
They're gonna
and
fuck.
It becomes
They're gonna
summer
fuck.
camp. I don't care how old you are. I don't care if you're married. People do the thing.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I do think that's silly. It's like,
It's
you know what? If you're going to make a
stupid.
stupid decision, make your stupid
I
decision.
remember like some years ago, like they were pro sex because they were handing them condoms, and then something
That doesn't
changed.
mean pro sex. It means pro protection.
Well, sure, but at least they weren't like putting holes in the
Saying,
condom and like, here, use this.
Can't.
Like, you know, but now they're all like, no, you can't have sex. We're going to give you cardboard beds. And it's like, first off, take it from me. You can fuck on the floor, okay?
Sure.
Easily. You can fuck outside. They were in France. You're going to tell me you're going to put a bunch of athletic, good-looking people in France and they're going to have a hard time finding a place to fuck? Are you kidding me? They probably
Right.
went to underneath the Eiffel Tower and fucked. Because who's going to stop them? If I
Well,
see
the police.
like the Olympic bodybuilders fucking underneath the Eiffel Tower, I'm letting them be. And then like, you know what? You guys do you. I'm going this way. Good luck tomorrow. I'll watch you on TV. You know what I mean? Let's just let them be. Let them fuck. That's all I gotta say.
Agreed.
It's so stupid.
In that vein of, I want to say something fun and positive about it.
Yeah,
Apparently, the news has just broken that the first celebrity to join the new season of Dancing with the Stars
Oh.
is Steve from Worcester, the pommel horse guy, whose name I can't pronounce.
Yeah. I remember
The guy
that
with
too.
the glasses, the
Yeah,
guy
yeah.
who did the horse, and he is going to be on Dancing with the Stars. So basically, everybody's sweetheart is going to be on Dancing with the Stars.
I have to do another
That's-
negative. I'm sorry, but I thought of something
ahead.
else. But
ahead.
if he had more to go on that, I didn't want to.
No, that was really it. But I was going to shift toward this love affair that everybody has with like cuddly people right now,
okay.
because it's even coming up in the Democratic National Convention.
Oh yeah,
Like
the vice president's dude.
Well, the vice president, like the vice president himself, Kamala Harris's husband, Doug.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
I love this weird. I also like the embrace.
But you know why that is?
Yes, it's because of Vance calling them weird.
Well, and it's
I'm
the opposite
loving
of
that.
them guys.
It
They're
absolutely
opposite
is.
of Trump. They're opposite of Vance. So yes, that's why.
I love this
Um,
embracing of, and this guy Steve, and all of the various, Olympic, like the fact that Simone Biles and Jordan Childs, like did a "We're Not Worthy" bow to Rebecca Andrade.
Yeah.
I mean, like this, just positive kinds of things.
There were a
think
lot
that
of
we need so
positive
much more
stuff
of
that happened. Yes, there was a lot of
I'm
great
enjoying the warm
great
fuzzies.
moments. Yeah, that's just not what this show is.
Go ahead, put us back in the mud. I'm doing my best.
The French dude with the big dick. That
Which-
shit was
Is he the
hilarious.
diver or the pole
He was
vaulter?
the guy, the pole vaulter. He was jumping over the pole vault, and his dick got in the
Dude,
way.
There's two of them.
That was just That
Because
happened
there's
twice?
There's
didn't
the
happen
pole
twice.
vaulter. No, not twice, but listen to me. Is 2 men in the Olympics grew.
Well, yeah, they grew it. They grew them. Yes, they did, Lisa.
Drew attention for their talents. The individual who was in the pole vaulting, and then there was a man who was a diver.
Oh, okay.
Who was approached by an underwear company.
Oh, yeah, okay.
That said, we want to protect your jewels. And it's like, that was the ad proposal. Like, we just want you in our ad.
Mm-hmm.
That's the ad.
Okay.
Here it is. If we can hold his, we can hold yours. And it's like, oh my God, this is hilarious.
I only saw and heard the pole vaulter because they played that clip 1,000 times.
This guy
of that dude's dick hitting the bar, and then that made him trip, and that is just
Oh.
hilarious to me. And just the fact that he lost because of that, and that's gotta be really weird. Because you're like, your whole life, you're like, hell yeah, I got a big dick. Come on, ladies, let's have sex on the floor of my Olympic village because we can't do it on the bed. And then you pole vault, and then your dick hits the bar. It was like, what the fuck? And then here's the other question that I just now thought of. Do they not wear cups? Why was he not wearing a cup? It was just out there.
Frankly, that would be more distance.
Maybe.
That would be more.
Maybe.
Out.
More girthy? Are you trying to say girthy?
Stretching.
Are you trying to say girthy?
No.
I love that you have to censor. I love you have to censor yourself because of where you live.
No, because I don't. If I meant girth, I would say girth. But this is girth. That's not the situation. It has to do with from the front. How much is it sticking out? Like, I don't know if that would be a girth thing. I guess it could be.
Yeah, kind of, I guess.
But yeah, no, I think the cup is a rigid shape.
Well, then maybe they need
from impact, and I think that I don't know what they would do. It's a really
maybe
good
they would
question.
need to take from drag queens and learn to tuck it and tape it.
I just had that same thought. I don't know, like, because you assume like divers and swimmers, like they have to put theirs somewhere too. But again, a cup would then for a swimmer, a cup is going to create more drag.
Yeah, okay.
The water.
I was just surprised that it was just out there. It was just like, here it is. You can see it, and you can see it. You look this up. You can see the dick. You see the whole thing. It's amazing. He got offered to do an OnlyFans by OnlyFans.
A number of Olympics
to just like sit there naked. Like it was just to sit there naked or bottomless for like a half hour or something.
Traffic at least to get people in there, but
it's it's crazy. But that was hilarious.
Yes.
Can
you imagine? First of all, see, this is where my brain goes. The individual photographer who caught that.
Oh yeah, that was a great shot.
The money this person got.
That was a great shot.
Oh my goodness! I mean, obviously you freeze frame it, so video would have taken care of that anyway. But
the camera people at the Olympics and the photographers
lost their damn minds. But I mean, it's one of those things. You gotta laugh at it, because there are things in the Olympics that were so bad and so negative. To be famous for something like that, I mean, it's kind of funny. I also think he's probably like WTF world. Why do I have to lose for that? But trust me, the man has plenty of individuals.
I do think he's going to be fine.
Whatever, trying to console him.
He's going to be fine. I'm trying to think of a situation for me where that would be a problem. And I can't think of it unless my mic just suddenly goes, oh, my dick. Oh, God damn it, this microphone. Jesus Christ. You know what I mean? I can't even see that.
Yeah.
Like nothing in my day-to-day life where my dick would get in the way. It's amazing. It's amazing that it happened. That was, you know what? No, that was not a negative. That was a positive. Because
that's what I'm saying.
That was the most positive I've ever felt about a guy with a big dick. and it was amazing. And a lot of people were behind him, and some of them
delight to
wanted
that.
to be in front of him probably, but they were they were behind him. So
they either
there
want to
you
be
go.
in front of him, perhaps they want to be under him, they want to be him behind them. I don't know what this individual's sexual orientation is, but
You do
like
you.
I said, there are plenty of individuals who are happy to console him if he needs it.
And he was French, and he's French, so yeah, that guy's fine. Leave him alone. All right, let's end on that note. We're back, baby. We are 100% back.
This is a fun conversation.
I cannot wait to do more episodes of the show. I missed this show. This is
It's
one
fun
of my
to chat about this stuff.
one of my top 3 favorite podcasts that I do. Don't question it, Lisa. Don't overthink it.
I better be 2
Don't
of them.
overthink it. Don't overthink it. Anyway,
I better be 2 of them.
I forgot because I've been gone so long. I forgot to thank the $10 Patreon members at the beginning of the show. So I'm going to do that now.
And then you can edit it and you can put them in the beginning.
I can maybe do that if I feel up to it, or I'll just do it now.
Nobody's going to know the difference, but anyway.
Silent Partner. Thank you, Silent Partner. Bear,
Silent
who
Partner.
could not be here. Katie Coons, thank you so much to Katie. Brenda, thank you to Brenda. Isabel, you're awesome. Thank you, Isabel. Tim, thank you very much to Tim. Rose, thank you to Rose. And thank you to Sandy. Those are our $10 Patreon members. The fact that many people give us $10 a month, that I was
That's
looking,
nice of them.
I
People
was
are generous.
looking 100%. I was looking at the overall time that people overall was a Patreon member, and people really are generous. I'm just going to say that.
That's really cool of them.
Really generous. So super, super thank you guys so much. You out there listening, you do not have to do a $10 Patreon. We would appreciate it. We would love if you did, but you don't have to. We do have a $1 tier that you can join. And that is over at patreon.com/rabbitholepods. And you can just give us $1. You can give us $5, whatever you want. The choice is yours. The choice is yours and yours alone. There's a callback. That was so Lisa, just to explain, that was from Temple of the what was that? Temple of Lost Junk. What was that show? It was a Nickelodeon game show. Oh my god.
Oh, Legend of the Hidden Temple.
Legend of the Hidden Temple. That's it. Yes, and there was a big stone dude who talked, and he
I
was like,
remember.
the choice is yours and yours alone. Well, it was a reference. I don't know if you remember.
No, but I remember the show.
To call back an earlier conversation. So now I would like to thank our other Patreon members. Plus, we got a new one in the time we were gone. We did. So first and foremost, I have to thank Chris R. Thank you, Chris R. The Vern. Hello, Vern. Thank you, Vern, for being a Patreon member. You're awesome. Carl. Thank you to Carl. You're awesome as well. Lackey. Lackey's always awesome. I can't think of a time where Lackey was never
Lackey presents whatever with Jason Soto, brought to you by Lackey.
I do want to thank Toby. Thank you, Toby. Kevin. Dude, thank you so much to Kevin. I want to thank Serena. Thank you to Serena. Jace. Thank you to Jace. And our new Patreon member, Jedi Girl. That's the name.
Hey!
That's the name she wanted to go by, and that's the name I will put on the Patreon.
Thank you, Jedi Girl.
Jedi Girl. She's a brand new Patreon.
Cool.
And she is very active in our Discord,
She is.
which you can also link to on our Patreon. There's a link on the Patreon. So there you go.
Pretty cool.
It is a pretty cool. Yeah, we are being more active on the Discord. So if anyone who did join the Discord,
I'm on the Discord right now.
yeah. So if anyone was in the Discord and then they stopped because we weren't using it, well, guess what? We're using it now.
Back, baby.
So we're using it. That is going to do it for this show. Lisa, thank you so much.
Thank you.
You're cool. You're awesome. Even though you're a prude, but I put up with it because I love you.
Well, I mean, put up with it. It's not like we're, intimate. So, I mean, there's not much for you to put up with.
Oh my! Whoa! See,
saying.
you are such a prude that I
It
was not
doesn't
expecting you to say that. That's how much of a prude you are. The fact that you
doesn't-
even said that.
I love that that's the way I said it too. I didn't feel like, well, Jason, we're not fucking, so
We're
I just-
fucking.
but yeah, I mean,
fucking.
it doesn't directly impact you. It just makes the
I
show funny
know.
because I try to avoid things.
No, it's just funny to see you get around words. It's just
You know what?
hilarious.
It's a damn good thing I'm an English teacher and that I'm such a reader and that I'm such a like a wordsmith because that's what helps me get around things. You know, the best trick for how to deal with a word you can't spell is to use a different word. And I am very good at doing that.
That was honestly kind of lame advice, but we'll take it, Lisa.
Fuck you.
Everyone out there watching and or listening, thank you guys so much. Wash your goddamn hands and keep your head in the clouds. Adios. Copyright 2024 Rabbit Hole Podcasts, rabbitholepodcasts.com.